Well, nuts to that. I tried to screw that up royally, didn't I? Well, I ended up screwing that up. Anyway, hi, I'm Steve from Mac84. I can't speak right today, and it's freezing in the basement. How's everyone doing? Oh, I should have switched over to my microphone. It's cold down here. Maybe not cold enough for the hat for the entire time, but it's cold. Hobo Steve. Well, there goes the hat. Thanks, Retro Fox. The image writer LQ is just fine. It's sitting right behind this box. Maybe it's cold inside. Better not be muted because I've been yelling like an idiot. Tell me something I don't know, Trina. Jeez. I'm not even going to open your box now with that attitude. Gosh. All right, let's open up the chat here to something I can actually see when I'm staring directly at the screen. So we have Joe from Joe's Computer Museum. I saved him from streaming, but Javier didn't get the message, I guess. Sorry. Savvy Sage is here. Nate is here. I was wondering if there's an issue with one of the resistor or capacitor packs on the Mac Plus that he has. I was giving him SCSI issues. That's where I would start poking and prodding with the multimeter. That sounds like a deep dive. Good luck to you, sir. Let's see who else is here. We have a Dragon Headed, or however you say that, sorry. Justin's here, Retrofox is here, Reed is here, Apple's Anonymous is here, Everything is Broken Garage is here. People with the long names, I'm running out of breath. Gold's Mac Show is here. Bruce of Brankus Creation is here, with the intro chaos dedicated to him. Trina of Trina's Technobabble is here. We also have Tev Rudin. Garth Beagle is here. This can only go well. Thanks for the confidence, bud. One Bit Fever Dreams is here. Electrical Outlet is here. DJ Craze is here. Let's see who else is here. We have Patrick. We also have Nick. We have the chat did this scrolly thing again. Michael's Workshop is here. Ian is here. Zarky is here. Lowong DC is here. I'm here to be inspired to buy more hardware that I have no space for. Welcome to the club. Just spent 3 nights in Minnesota. I'm so glad to be back in Florida. Warming up. Yes, warm up. But Jeremy is here. Enzo's here. Icarus Mad is here. And okay. Well, I mean, YouTube is YouTube, so things take forever to populate. That's nice, Retro Techie. Alright, cool. So, Retro Tech, you look so sad when you do that little emoji there. Yeah, here you go. Have a moderator for a bit. Jack's Mac Attack is here. Hello, Jack. And yeah, I bought myself a dead PowerBook 100 because I'm an idiot. Don't worry, all PowerBook 100s will eventually be dead PowerBook 100s. Excellent. So yeah, I started out the stream with the old preset for the holiday music, and then I realized it halfway through, and I guess I didn't hit save hard enough on the mouse button because OBS decided not to save it and just continue. So anyway, the new mic is going great. It would go better if it was plugged in. So that's what I'm actually going to switch to now. Where's the silly? Here it is. A little thingamajig here, because I am going to be turning around a lot for this stream. Maybe. I mean, we'll see. Yeah, they order caps for my PowerBook 100. In fact, I'm going to talk a bit about the future of what the heck I'm doing here in a little bit. This is not the best thing to clip a thing to. Yeah, not in a bad way necessarily, but let's see which one of these dealies is charged. And I might only come in like on the right channel, so I'm gonna have to fix that. Let's see. I'll have to turn this guy on too, huh? It's a new little Rode Wireless Go dealie that I got myself. There we go. And guess I'll just clip this somewhere else. Alright, let's see if this wants to work correctly. USB microphone. We're going to switch that to this guy. Hopefully you could hear me loud and clear. Maybe. Hello, Thomas. Hello, anybody else I missed? Switched over to the new microphone, which I now have to switch over for every single scene because OBS. Alright, cool. Bit lower. Alright, so let's adjust that. There is a little dealie here. Yeah, I know your left ear is lonely to adjust this. But before I fit around with my microphone for like 8 hours now, big shout out to friends of my friend Dan, Canadian Computer Collector. And any friend of Dan is a friend of mine because he is weirdly similar to me and it's strange and I love it. But Kristen and Janice, hello, fans of the channel. Greatly appreciate it. I don't know why you keep watching, but please keep watching. It's only going to go down here from here. Yes, the left channel only. There is a button on this microphone that apparently does a thing. Don't ask me how, but it does a thing, and I'm waiting for my friend Bruce to save me here. Hold on. There's more buttons on here. Whoops, I dropped the thing. This is why I should have, done this ahead of time. What does this button do? Well, I don't know. Is that better? Oh, goodness. You even look alike. I know, I have Dan's flowing here. I press, well, I could press that. Hold, please. I mean, let me know if that's any better. I have no clue. I can't hear myself. So if this sucks, I'll just go back to the regular microphone. But Bruce insisted, but I didn't read the manual, so I'm an idiot. Ahead of time for scripted videos. Oh boy. Press the any key. Where's the any key? Where's the any key? Oh goodness. But yeah, Dan, the Canadian Computer Collector, just released a video about his G4 Power Mac Cube. And it's actually a quite little cool mini documentary. Please watch that. Where's the cheesecake? Please take a look at that. Very good video work by Dan. I'd like to see him do more of these little documentary style things. It's a machine I wanted to cover for a while. I have one with the box and everything. I've just never had the chance to bring it out. But he did a very interesting take on that. But all right, we'll switch back to the other mic. I'll figure this out when I'm not doing a live stream. How about that? All right, we go back there, and there we go. We're back. We're back sounding maybe normal-ish. I don't know. But anywho, we've been flailing around for what seems like a half hour. Oh God, please help. Well, it's a little late for that, Bruce. I'll mess with this later. I will. Promise. Maybe. Kind of. Now I'm getting sweaty in this sweater. See what happens when you try and do nice things. You try and keep yourself warm. Yes, thank you very much, Garth, for putting Dan's video link in the chat there. Everyone, please check that out. You'll be thoroughly entertained. I guarantee it. Guaranteed void in tendency. All right, cool. So, I still have the year 2000 clock on my desk. Interesting thing about this, it is from the year 2000, obviously, But the countdown mode only activates if you set the year to 1999. Otherwise, you can't count down anything else. Otherwise, you can have the time there. And yeah, that's about it. So that's cool, I guess. All right, cut off the sleeves. Yeah, no thanks. There's no guns there. Garth, I have to change my wardrobe. I'm not going to show all these people my pale undersides. All right, so anyway. Well, Savvy Sage, the great thing about the video that Ron and I did, that's 2 hours and 40 minutes long, is there are chapters. You go ahead and skip through and see just what you want to see. And if you don't care about Performa 6200s, then you could say, no thank you. And you could just skip ahead of that. But anyway. Where does one get a schematic for a G3 all-in-one? You probably don't. I haven't seen one. There's a service manual, but that probably doesn't help you. I would post on Tinker Different, Robert. If you have a problem, maybe somebody could help you out with it. But yeah, anywho, we have a box from Trina to open up. She threatened to send me something, some repairs and stuff like that. But I'm told there's other things in this box. I have no idea what's in here. Brace yourselves. It might get nasty. So, oh boy. Maybe some groceries? Hopefully not. No, not a 6200. No, thank you. Pile of laptops. Oh, goodness. All right, so I'm going to open this box. If I was sent mice, I already have some mice. I should probably position the camera slightly this way. There's a bag. These all right, these are gifts, I assume. I'm now extremely sad. Is there an order to this, Trina? You'll have to be fast on the keyboard or I'll just start ripping into things. I bet there's laptops in that box. If there were laptops, is that her shipping expense? So there you go. One is for you, one is for Mike. All right, I will open one. Mike, don't look. And a very Canada hat. Dan is also from Canada. Dan, do you object to this? There we go. Now the sun, the artificial sun of the light is now now hiding from my face, but that is fantastic. I do not know if I wear this in public. All we're missing is a rabbit on there. I mean, you got a beaver, you got a fox, you got a bear, even a butterfly, a moose, whatever the heck that thing is. But yeah, there you go. That's the Retro Techie really wants this, so I might have to send it to him. I wear it backwards like this. Hello, fellow kids. Yeah, I go to the DMV and this, I'll end up dead. But I will leave this for Mike. Very nice, Trina. I am not discounting your thoughtfulness. I think it's hilarious. Oh gosh. Okay. So, on to whatever else is in here. I'm scared. We have a DAT drive. Is this for me or for Mike? I know you threatened things for Mike in here. A SCSI DAT drive, it seems. Please send me universal health care. Please. Oh, there's a tape stuck in here. As for you, it's marked June. It's a DAT72 digital data storage. I don't have a DAT drive. Now I do. Thank you, Trina. It's SCSI. This is a model CD72LWH. And I got a tape in there, so that's a bonus. Thank you. That looked good. Unlike the hat on me, it would look good. Alright, we have what looks like a Macintosh Classic logic board that Trina wants me to unkill or revive. Words are hard. Just dropping everything on the floor today. Yeah, that's a heavy box. Would be a cool case. All right. I know, Savvy Sage. They're all piling up on me. I know where I'm going to put all this packing material. Resurrect, revive, not kill, unkill the undead. Oh, it's an analog board. Thank you, Trina, for threatening to send this to me for 2 years in a row. And we got the memory board for the Macintosh Classic, which I put the board right here. Misplacing it already, that just instills the most confidence in you, doesn't it? There's more stuff on the bottom. I'm afraid. I'm very afraid. Oh boy. Oh, this is from the Laser Rider, and there's some other stuff in the bottom. Some reading material, by the looks of it. We'll get a good look at everything in a moment. I assume it's finders keepers. If Mike wants any of this, he's gonna have to fight me for it. Well, maybe except the hat. He has his own. But thank you, Trina. Oh boy. Okay, so we have an interesting right angle third-party StarTech 30-pin iPod iPhone connector, and we have whoopsies. I keep dropping things. I'm probably having a stroke, but who knows? Hey, Sloppy Malibu, Gold's Mac Show, Big Bad Biologist, Big Bad Bench, all that fun stuff. Hello, welcome. We have another third-party iPhone 30-pin cable, and we have an Apple one, I think, or at least it looks like one. Then we have a DVI to VGA, another DVI to VGA. We also have this is an iPod composite cable. So this is for composite video standard definition, out from your iPod dock. I have the dock over there, so I'm going to put all these cables over there so I can properly sort them. There's something else for Mike in there with his name on it. Oh, damn. We have a compact flash card. Is that Mike's? Because I could use that. Whatever this is, I'm concerned. Tastes like universal healthcare. For Mike. Okay, it's a battery dealie for a phone. Excellent. I'll put that aside for him. Oh, thank you, Garth, for the super chat to promote somebody else. Wait a second. That's treason. Yes, please go subscribe to Trina's channel, Trina's Technobabble. Garth put the link there in the chat, and thank you very much, Garth, for the super chat. Yep. And excellent. I can actually use one of these compact flash cards because I have a CF reader for my PC, my old DOS, whatever the heck it is. And when I installed the card into it, I realized I only had like a 16 meg card and then one that was too big to be recognized. So this is actually perfect. So thank you so much, Trina. That's very, very thoughtful of you. All right. And we have some documentation. Claris Organizer, because we could all be more organized. Claris Works user guide. Macintosh System 7.5 for dummies. Well, I certainly don't need this. Thank you. $20.25. That's pretty darn cool, though. Thank you so much for the documentation. Everyone always throws these out, but I like these. The amount of PCs I have in my collection is unknown at this point because they're just something that live in my garage and get neglected and the mice live in. So it's not anything I need more of, but thank you. And this is interesting. Now Trina did recycle the rest of this poor printer, which didn't turn on in her defense. But this is for an Apple Personal Laser Writer NTR. The naming of this is not 1,000% familiar to me. But I do have 3 of these stupid machines, and all of them have power problems. But this is a board for one of them, and it has a memory module there, which looks to be the 71 pin memory module. Okay, and there's a bunch of ROMs in here, so that's pretty neat. So thank you for not throwing this away. And yeah, Trina had a few printers. I think she all e-wasted them though. I don't blame her. But thank you very much for sending me the spoils. Chris, hello. Who else I missed? Francois, Stinkerton. Oh yeah, add categories in launcher. I think it's with the little, you do the little option 8 thingamajig, I think, or something like that. I don't know. I forget. It's been too long. Web rings, yes. Heck yes. Don't bully me for retro. I'll unmod him. Just say the word, Garth. Just say the word. Did you happen to rip out the other board from the printer, Trina, or was that too much work? Because that memory will haunt me for the rest of my days. So answer carefully, even if you're lying. Thank you very much for this. All right. Launcher categories. Been lurking and listening. Well, hello, Showfox. Welcome to whatever this is. Okay, so... exactly. That's what I was going to harvest the processor from it. Oh, what was I going to say? Words hard. Thing go. Thank you, Trina, for sending all those goodies. She did also send me stuff to repair. So, I did say I wanted that board. I'm just going to let that hang over your head for all the time. Anyway, Trina did send me a Mac Classic and an analog board to do. Not sure if I'm going to get to that today. But I will get to that hopefully sometime soon. So the thing I wanted to talk about is kind of like how my workload and stuff in my personal life is very crazy. So I don't know what my streaming and/or video schedule. Sorry, Trina. I don't know what my streaming and/or video schedule is gonna be like for like the next month. Kind of like maybe want to just take a little bit of a break. I don't do breaks well, so I'll probably just like continue as normal and burn myself out, but that's just how I am. So if there's not a lot more live streams or video content or whatever, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, what happened? That's probably I'm just like not doing things. Well, I'm not doing things live or on a video. I have to clean up this desk. I have to reorganize a lot of this stuff that I unorganized during shenanigans. I have to find a place for the second G3 all-in-one that I now have in my collection for some ungodly reason. Yeah, so, ow, my eye, there was something in my eye. See what you did, Retro Techie? This is all your fault. Anywho, yeah, so that's what's, maybe going on. I don't know. I have a video on Patreon about a Macintosh LC, and I was gonna finish up the editing of that today, and I didn't get a chance to do that, so, yeah. Yeah, Michael's Workshop, I'd make more at a fast food restaurant than I would via YouTube. Alright, anywho, let's get to what the heck we're doing today. If you'd like help with those printers, help like throwing them in a dumpster? I think I could throw them in the dumpster. You're dead to Steve now. No, it's fine. I will just, hold that over her head for the rest of the time. The rest of the printer I have is probably broken anyway, so I was just hoping that parts or whatever. I mean, I wanted her to hold on to the whole damn LaserWriter 2. That heavy behemoth of a potato of a thing. The LC video is on my YouTube, but it's on Patreon. It's going to be posted eventually. I just have to get around to editing it. But, what's saying, huh? What? Go? Okay, anyway, Monster Squishy, who was in the chat a few streams ago, had a bad problem with their Macintosh LC series machine. And so they sent it to me to repair. I did get a brief look at it yesterday. Not yesterday, when I was doing my New Year's stream. And it's one of those things where it's in such rough shape that even though it came ahead of some of the previous repairs that I'm on a backlog for, I want to clean it up and try and get the goo out. So, that's what we're going to be looking at today. They sent me the logic board. It's actually an LC2. Why did I say LC3? Is that what they said in their email? I'm going to check, because otherwise I'm going to mistakenly do a thingamajig or look up a thing with the, words are hard. Where's that? Where's the thingy? Oh, I actually type with my keyboard. It's like a baby's toy. Alright. Nope, it said LC2. I'm an idiot. Okay, cool. And then they sent 2 power supplies. One is working, maybe, and one is questionable. And they sent along a very nice note, which I guess I'll read again because I read it on New Year's. But Dear Steve, encloses my Macintosh LC2. Included is the ROM, the VRAM minus the battery. Also included power supplies. The original came with the computer, and the new one I just bought. Again, love the show, and thanks again for the help. No worries. It's always difficult when people reach out to me for repairs, even though my plate is full. I'm very, 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 very behind on some repairs, and some things are done. I just have to pack them up and ship them out, but easier said than done. So anyway, brains. Now I'm just like looking at words and repeating them. That's not good. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, let's get on with this, whatever this is. Bruce is watching cricket, so I have to be entertaining enough for him to just look away for a few moments. Otherwise, it's like, why bother even streaming if Bruce isn't here? All right, so this says original. That's the original flavor power supply. And then we do have a second one, so we can test the voltages on that. And go from there. Anyone else saw the prototype black and white LC on the internet with a weird auto inject? Yeah, that was neat. It's cool that those things are sort of leaking out into the wild. It's nice to see some variations of what could have been. All right, and this is the new power supply. So what I'm gonna do is get out Mr. Multimeter. Where are you? I just had you. I'm gonna test some voltages. Bzz. All right. Let me just move the scalpel away from where I could accidentally kill myself with. Thank you. And we're gonna make sure that we can get the voltages right on this thing, so we can do a testaroonie, huh? Hey, Sutek, how's it going? Next to Mr. Radar. You know I always like my coffee when I watch Radar. Alright, so this is a new power supply that they labeled. What I'm going to do is shove some probes into this and see what happens. I forget what the blue wire is. Let's see. Oh, boy. Let's go to pinouts.ru. They usually have some good stuff. Okay, so blue is negative 5 volts. Yellow is positive 12. Orange is positive 5. Okay, so using our Kaiweets KM6, I'm not sponsoring this, so why am I bothering? Multimeter, we're going to test the voltage of this thing. Well, thank you very much, Joe. That's right. So, Mike of Mike's Mac Shack did a stream on New Year's Day. It was on Monday. That's why it feels like I streamed recently, but I did not on my channel. And he did a stream of the game Stray, and all proceeds went to his local no-kill animal shelter. And I think he raised about $500 or something crazy like that, because people were so freaking generous. So awesome. And if you want to check out that stream, the link to donate is still there. So you can do that. Let's find a power cord. Yeah, sure, that'll do. Damn right, Jay. You just plug things in and blow things up. I mean, it's not my power supply if it blows up. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Somebody actually thought I was like being serious after saying something silly like that in one of these streams. They're like, "Do people send you stuff even though you say you're going to blow it up?" And I'm like, no. Alright, so we're going to turn that off. Plug this in. Now, let's make sure you could see it too. Yeah. What are you trying to auto? There's nothing yet, buddy. Alright, so black is ground. Hopefully, otherwise this is insane. Oh, my probe's too fat to fit in here? That's annoying. Well, I guess I could just shove them in like that. Oh, come on, just stay right there. And hopefully this doesn't blow up in 3, 2, 1. So the blue, we're getting negative 4.1, which is not too bad. The yellow, we're getting 9 volts instead of 12. And the orange, we're getting 2 volts. Alright, so this new power supply ain't that good. Its values are way off. Maybe it's just there's not a load on it, but there's also some rust and discoloration there. So that's a little suspect. But I do have a working one I could test against, but I'm just curious. So this is the original. Let's just plug this in without anything, because I think they said this one made noises. Or not. Oh, maybe. Well, it's lower then. Either way, it's not up to snuff. That's hard to read things. Load, probe, sus, whatever. The words are just things, you know? Alright, this is supposed to be -5, and it is actually 1 volt, so that ain't good. This is supposed to be +12, and it is 1 volt. This is supposed to be +5, and it's 1. So maybe it's just not on the right load, or who knows. Yeah, they probably do have to be plugged in, Bruce, and we will test that later on. But I was just curious right off the bat if they were just like completely dead or not. But under load, power supplies behave differently. And I'm glad you took the time to pry your head away from the cricket match. Hey, Brandon, how's it going? Well, I wouldn't say the caps in there are new. The person got it from a source, and so it's new to them. But anywho, Reefer Madness. Yes, Joe and Nick and anybody else I forgot to say hello to. Hello. All right, so we have this LC board here, and these unfortunately have what we like to call in the industry a capacitor forest. There's a heck of a dense amount of capacitors right there, which makes it so fun to work on. With no load, voltages should be nominal. Alright, well, that explains a lot. So, we'll test them after we get some voltage loaded. But this is why I did not want to let this board sit for too long. Let me switch over to the microscope view because you can actually see what the heck I'm talking about. And it's because, well, things like this sound chip, if I could get a focus here, are green with envy. Like, very, very green. Like, every single point is green. And unfortunately, this continues throughout the board. I already did a little bit of cleaning up on here on my New Year's live stream. But, yeah. So, I really want to get this some attention. Otherwise, it's probably going to come back and haunt me. So, if I was the size of Ant-Man, I'd be in a capacitor forest. And I could repair a lot more traces if I was teeny tiny. I have to get some isopropyl alcohol from upstairs. I forgot. I will be right back. Just give me like 3 minutes. Alrighty, I have returned. Sean, no! Run away! You don't want any part of this. Alrighty. And I changed shirts because that sweater was getting too hot. Alright, so we're going to take a look at these capacitors here. And Sean, look at all the green. Hey Drake, how's it going? Alright, let's start poking this. So, I have a lot of green, which is never a good sign. And just look at all of this here too. It's totally fine. Sean, your tolerances of what is fine versus what's not fine is alarming and scary to me. And I don't know where the little isopropyl alcohol thingy that Jay gave me ages ago went. Because it's empty and I went to fill it up and realized I'm out of isopropyl alcohol. So I'll be doing my best without it. But we'll see. So I'm just going to clean this up a little bit just to show you what a little scrub-a-dub can do. Now I'm not pushing necessarily hard on this, but you could see all the nasty goo that is being collected on the end of this cotton swab. And just look at that. That is just from one chip. Just one side of one chip. I mean, ugh. So it just goes to show that, yes, cleaning these boards is helpful, but as I say in the video I'm going to be releasing soon, you know, if you just wash a board with isopropyl alcohol, yeah, you're probably going to solve some of the problems, but it doesn't, you know, avoid the fact that the capacitors have already leaked. And it's kind of like fixing a flat tire by putting more air in it. Yeah, you've temporarily, you know, avoided attacking the core problem there. But you haven't really fixed anything. It's just a band-aid. It's just a temporary solution. So what you need to do is clean the board, remove the capacitors, clean those sections, then put new ones on. Because I've actually had people send me boards that have already been recapped, but the person who repaired them wasn't necessarily someone who did computer repair or whatever, and the capacitors and all their goo and crap from the previous set of capacitors was still on the board. So that was great. Oh boy. That's what, yes, that's why Sean fixes his tires with duct tape. Everyone just be aware of that before you get a ride from Sean. Sorry, sir, your insurance policy does not cover gross stupidity. And it's just in all the crevices here. All the crevices here. Yuck, 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 yuck. Well, those will be easier to clean up once I have all these caps off of here. But, alright, so, I am running out of the... Well, I do have a supply of the flux I usually use. I don't know where it is. This is part of the reason why I'm going to take a bit of a break. Because I have to actually find all my stuff and organize it. And I've ordered parts for people's machines to replace components on, and then I've lost those parts, or the parts have gone missing, or somewhere in a little box that I put somewhere, and now that box is gone. So, you know, thankfully I know where people's machines are, but some of the parts I ordered to fix those machines are not available in my eyesight area at the particular moment. So I do need to take some time, some me time, and just like organize the heck out of this space here, because yeah, you can only go so much being like, oh yeah, I know where everything is, until you don't. And I blame my brother's old 3D television, which has just been like a project taking up so much space in the side of the basement here, where I was like, oh yeah, I'll just order a board for it and fix it up 1, 2, 3. Nope, that didn't do it. So fun times. It's always easier to blame others than yourself in all walks of life. Oh boy. But more power to all you folks who are doing the best they can with their organization skills and all that fun stuff, because yeah, it ain't fun. And I have more computers than I know what to do with. And I will probably at some point soon start saying, well, do I really need 18 of these things? And start looking at what I could drag to VCF East or something like that to give a home to somebody else. Because, you know, sometimes you get machines as part of a bundle, or it's a duplicate of something, or you end up fixing something and it's like, well, I don't need 3 Macintosh LC2s. You know, one that works and one as a backup is fine. But now actually on this machine I'm not seeing too much, I mean the capacitors have obviously leaked, but I'm not seeing too much like trace damage or anything just yet. But we will get to that. Drag him right into my car. But you come over here, Sean, and you wait, no, that's a bad idea. Never mind. You know where I live. Sean will be outside my door in like 3 hours. You said you want to get rid of some things. I'll take that and that and that and that and that. They might be more cursed than you want to handle, Sean. They're too cursed for me. Hey Eric, how's it going? Just catching up on here. Everyone needs at least 14 G4s. I do not want to comment on the amount of Power Mac G4s I have in this house, because I'm afraid to know the number. Maybe that's why Steven doesn't count his collection. Oh, the little webcam dealie that's supposed to have my stupid face in the corner is not there. Why? Why is it not there? We need We need a stupid image of me being stupid the whole time. Well, not that stupid, but, you know. Where is it? That's the thing. There it is. And why is that not shown? Oh, this is blasphemy. Hold on, I have to go to the thing. I have to click on the dealie here. There I am. Hi. Oh, boy. Well, most of my G4s are the AGP graphite colored ones, and a lot of them are missing like a power supply or a logic board, or in some cases like the front bezels. I mean, like I said, sometimes I get stuff and it's just in a lot. It's like, hey, you want this, or you gotta take all of it, you know. So 3 wheels on it. Sean, you did that to yourself, buddy. Alright, so the serial number is B42092MBD79A. I just say that because sometimes this label likes to, or the text likes to wave away when you are doing some work on this area because of the heat involved. So, yay! We'll just put a wee bit of flux there. It's not the high quality stuff, but it does get the job done. And then we'll get the hot air gun out and we'll whisk away all these pesky caps. There's way too much flux. But flux helps things just, you know, adhere or not adhere. Yay! You have an Emacs sitting next to you. Emacs are bad news. I have like 5 of those suckers. I mean, they're neat machines and all, but it just turned into me ranting about things. But Steven, you never rant on your live streams. No. Never. Alright, so I'm going to put a little thingamajig here to sort of save that plastic from the heat. I'm also going to put some Kapton tape there. If I knew where I put the roll of Kapton tape. Wait a second. It was over here. I found it. Yay. Oh yes, Unreal Tournament on the eMac. Not bad at all. $200, Eric. That's a lot. Hey, Saul, how's it going? I have not dumpster dived for a computer since 2005, maybe? Something like that. First off, the logistics of me getting in and out of a dumpster change with age. Second off, security cameras are much cheaper than they used to be. And we'll just leave that to your imagination. Oh, boy. Nothing is beyond repair, Jeremy. It's I don't have the time, unfortunately. Like, if I had the time to go through all this, I started even trying to catalog my collection. And that became too resource intensive. But just one of those things. Everything takes time, and so I'm just trying to dedicate what time I have for the things I need to do, and some of it is more enticing to me than others. Especially when the garage is cold because it's frickin' winter. That's the fun part of it, Trina, the hunt. And then when you get home and you're like, oh, I have space in the garage right behind the... Oh, I filled that up 3 months ago. That's the fart you gotta worry about. I said fart. Oh, these smell terrible. These capacitors smell absolutely terrible. Oh, gosh. Oh, boy. That is a stinky capacitor. It's a spicy meatball. Usually if you go just quickly in a row with these little tiny ones, you could get them off pretty easily. So that's what I'm focusing on right now, because the area of the board is still warm. So they'll just come pretty quietly until they don't. I wasn't monetized until I was. It's an old Mac Yak joke. Hey, Trina. Thank you so much for the super chat. Eep! Computer Renaissance. I have no idea what the heck that is. Please explain. That sounds interesting. So, with those caps off, we only have 6 more to go. Sean, yes, I thought I emailed you, but I apologize if it did not. I do have it in the box here. That's one of the machines I mentioned I have, well, when I alluded to, that I have to just mail back. So my apologies, it is here. I think I just have to pair it up with the memory that it came with, and I will get it back to you as soon as humanly possible. That's why I'm saying I'm taking a bit of a break, because there's way too much stuff that's come in, and I have to catch up on it. And it's not fair that I continue to work on things while others are waiting. So again, my sincere apologies. It will be back to you, hopefully, by the end of this week. Yeah, the centrises are pretty hard to kill. Hey Adam, how's it going? This is a Macintosh LC2 that is in such weird, corroded, and sad-looking shape that I had to just work on it. And that's the last capacitor off the board. Hooray! So we don't have to worry about those caps leaking any further. They have been neutralized. Happy Mac says, my Macintosh Classic makes a checkerboard pattern. I have everything recapped. My theory is that the EEPROM is broken. Did you accidentally swap the EEPROM in a position it shouldn't have been? Like backwards? Because that might kill the EEPROM and then you might have a problem with the ROM. That is a potential thing. But I would suggest going to tinkerdifferent.com. It's a great community there. Post your question with some pictures. hopefully somebody could get back to you of exactly what's going on there. Very hard to diagnose those things that in front of you. But make sure you clean everything. Go and check your work. Make sure you didn't screw up a trace or a trace didn't touch something it shouldn't. There's no solder balls on the board or anything like that. Because it's very, very possible that that could have happened. But you never know. Happy New Year. Yes, indeed. All right. Thank you, Trina, for posting the link there. Alright, so now that all the caps are gone, we could try and clean this up a little bit. I mean, the ultrasonic cleaner is going to do its job. We have tons of little solder balls here, so we'll have to get rid of those. But I just want to clean up all the big spots I could see. Ugh, that capacitor leakage just finds itself everywhere, doesn't it? Oh, we have some lovely bits here on the board. Thankfully, the majority of that cleaned up okay. Oh god, there's so much crud under these chips. If I can't get these looking much better, I think I might have to ultrasonic this before I even power the darn thing on. Because it's very possible that these connections could short themselves, and you don't want that happening. You do not want that happening at all. So this is the sound chip. They don't make these anymore. So if you fry it, or you break it, or you misplace it, or whatever happens to it, you're going to have to source one from another machine. They are not getting easier to find. You can go to places like UT Source and pay a small fortune with shipping for a few of these. If you could find them, if they're in stock. But unfortunately, they don't make them anymore. So there you go. The sound chip on the Macintosh, especially on some models, is actually responsible for some of the ways the machine goes through the startup process. So if you have a bad sound chip, you could also have a broken computer. Isn't that nice? And Macintosh computers never really had, you know, until much later, didn't really have sound cards. You know, all Macs, for the most part, had at least some sound built in. It might have just been a beep, but, you know, you had some sound capabilities built in. And yeah, if you were a professional, you get a MIDI box or a Nuvus or a PCI sound card or whatever, but not in the same way PCs had sound cards, where PCs didn't have sound capabilities from the factory, and you had to add them in, and there was AdLib and Sound Blaster and all that stuff. Macintosh, not quite the same. So if you do have the sound capability lost in your machine due to a bad chip, it is sometimes not worth it to go after a very rare or uncommon card just to get the sound capabilities back. So, yeah. It's not the same. A lot of these different Macs have different sound chips. I don't know off the top of my head which ones have which. Some of the LC and the Classic series share a chip. Some of the SEs and such do that as well. But not all machines have the same sound chips. So it is something you have to keep in mind. The you know, the machines have mono and then stereo, and like the LC500 series has a different sound chip than these models. Oh, look at all the crud that is just coming off here. Oh, goodness. There are plenty of little solder balls in here. That's one of the things that happens when you use hot air. The solder from the inside of these joins sometimes gets sucked out into the open because the old solder has cracks in it, and it just, you know, squeezes out, and then you have to deal with that, which is not fun. Happy birthday, everything is broken garage. If it is your birthday, I see someone's wishing you a happy birthday. If it is not your birthday, then, well, hold on to that for your next birthday. How about that? And again, Trina, thank you very much for the super chat. Yep. If I take out the RAM expansion, it's vertical lines. With the RAM expansions, it's a checkerboard. Well, it certainly sounds like some traces are not happy going to the memory on a classic. I have had to troubleshoot that before. I've done some live streams on it. I do not know off the top of my head exactly what could be causing that, but I would say if you have a multimeter, which I hope you do, get out the schematics and start beeping out the paths, checking for continuity on the chips that go from, let's say, wherever to the memory things, and I can't speak because I'm trying to focus on this, and so on. I mean, it's every board is different, but it sounds like there may be a memory related issue there, or it could be something completely unrelated to the memory. What was the symptom of the machine before you recapped it? Was it all working fine, or did it have problems? These are things that you should post about on Tinker Different to get a good group of smarty pants people to give you some possible scenarios about what to look out for. Because unfortunately the YouTube comments is not the best place for feedback. It's very hard to track when someone replies, especially in a live chat. So, and please, I know you're not going to do it, but please don't send me a DM on Twitter or Mastodon or Instagram about questions. I mean, Tinker Different is probably the best place for that, because I don't have all of the experience with all of these machines. And your exact scenario may be something I've never encountered before. So I actually browse the Tinker Different board, the web form, very frequently. So, you know, if I have any advice to give on a particular thing, I will be happy to share it. Alrighty. But it's very, very difficult to troubleshoot things remotely. Sometimes I get the weirdest messages. I have an M1 Mac that does such and such, and I'm like, how would I know? It's like, do you even know who I am? Most of my expertise is with old crap that hasn't been produced in 30 years. I'm sorry, this is not a support stream. If you have questions about a machine, you're very well better served on Tinker Different. Now, you could ask to your heart's content, just please don't expect me to have an answer right off the top of my head. And they're very friendly people in the chat here that know well too much about these machines, just like I do. So, it is fine to ask questions. I'm just saying, set your expectations with the response. Because my eyes are most of the time pointing down looking at this thing. So I miss a lot of the chat too, which is unfortunate. I apologize if I do miss it. Super chats definitely get my attention because they're colored differently and they flag the whole thing. I'm not saying you have to do that, but I'm just saying that's how the system works. Some hoarder from New Jersey. You got half of that right. Yeah, it could be like if you have sound that has gone away after you recapped. Also, check the audio jack, like Thomas is saying, because sometimes maybe just some deoxid or cleaning of that audio jack could solve it. Because the audio jacks on Macs have a little sensor. And it's this little switch, and when that switch is activated, it says, hey, there's something plugged in. And on a Mac, when something is plugged into the audio, most of the time it's not going to play it through the internal speaker unless you specifically ask it to. And some machines don't even have that function. So you want to be very careful when you're messing around with those machines, and just understand like their basic functions of how they work. There's a lot of great books that are on the Internet Archive about repairing Macs or fixing old Macs and stuff like that. That's like where I get a lot of my information from too. So definitely a lot of awesome resources out there. And a lot of those solder balls hidden away under this chip. And you may be thinking, Steven, why don't you just remove that chip and clean it up? Because the ultrasonic cleaner should take care of most of that. like this little guy is going to be stubborn, I can tell. There's not a good way to like... Oh, there we go. I was about to say, there's not a good way to get some of these out, but... Yeah, we don't pump our own gas, and our gas is consistently cheaper than the surrounding states. How does that work? Oh. And when I'm telling people, please don't DM me for tech support, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm really not. I just don't want, you know, people sending me a message and be like, well, I messaged him. If he doesn't respond, then I'm going to give up. Because you shouldn't. You should research things. You should do a good old Google search and look past the first page. There's a lot of good stuff past the first page, which is usually a bunch of garbage. Learn how to use quotes. Learn how to use the plus symbol on search engines, whether it's Google or anything else that you may use, because those are essential in narrowing down your things. Because if you search Macintosh classic video or whatever, you might get like completely unrelated results with iPhones and MacBooks and all sorts of crazy stuff that has nothing related to what you're doing. It's just frustrating. Speaking of frustrating, this camera's not pointing to what I'm poking at, and I am sorry. I do not mean to do that to you. There we go. Alta Vista Warrior. I'm just trying to clean out the really nasty ones here, just so I don't have to worry as much about them later on. The ultrasonic cleaner will still be used, and it's gonna get 99% of this stuff, but it doesn't hurt to manually unclog these things just to make sure. Alrighty. Right, let's check the rest. I think there's one over here. Well, that has a lot of gunk in it. Look at that. Ask Jeeves. Yeah, you could do that too. I don't know how happy he would be answering your question, but you could ask him. Now, the microscope view I have is right in the dead center where the camera views, but I actually have a wider perception to that, so my field of view is wider, so if anything gets cut off by the camera, I do apologize. I'm not doing it intentionally. It's just that I won't notice what you don't see unless I look up and just peek at the view of my camera for a bit. And sometimes I don't do that for a little bit. Steven, you're doing an awful lot of apologizing for these videos. I'm just trying to make sure everyone knows what's going on. Today was my first day back of work, at work, from the holiday break. Not that it was a rude awakening or anything, but I was like, oh, yeah, I have to get up at a decent hour and actually do some things. Alrighty. Let me just double check something. I have a feeling. Yeah, that's what I thought. The view from my camera was super zoomed in. OBS does stupid things like that sometime. Oh my goodness. What a pain in the butt. Well, now you're getting the full view. Alright. Thought we were a little too close for no reason. For my next trick, I know where I was going with that. Turn the soldering iron on. Sure, we'll go with that, Trina. We'll ignore the crippling anxiety. So what I'm going to do now is use the soldering wick I have to clean up these pads so we can get them ready to put new capacitors on. Now we're not quite there yet, but it's part of the step here. Let's make sure this is as focused as we can get here. There we go. Now you want to be careful when you're doing this. You definitely want to practice on more of those do-it-yourself kits and stuff like that when you're repairing these traces and pads and stuff, because all this old stuff can get very cranky and can just burn away so quickly. And you might have a trace or a pad that is just very unhappy, and you'll just like rip it right off the board without even trying. So I've sort of developed a feel for this. I'm not perfect. Mistakes still happen. But you want to make sure you don't linger on things. You want to make sure you don't attach too much heat to something, because it's extremely easy to make a mistake and then you have a problem to fix on top of the repair that you're already doing. Now you'll see it's very easy that I'm actually making some of this copper appear, and that's just because the areas directly around the pads have so much little pockets of cap juice and crap like that sitting on them over the past 20 or so years, that the stuff around it, the solder mask, the little green paint that's on top of these traces, is just coming away. And that's fine, we could fix that. Just a cosmetic thing, really. And a lot of these pads will look better once we have some more detailed cleaning on them, but so far so good. So this solder wick is wicking up all the old solder as much as it can. Sometimes it's very, very stubborn. And the copper is getting very hot in my hands. Well, that's the thing about these repairs. Patience. Every single project and every single board is different. No two have the same exact problem or same exact way they were manufactured or same exact parts. There are different revisions of things and so on and so forth. So while we've all been frustrated and just like, look, I just want to get this done, it is really a detriment to you to just like kind of rush things, because you will likely regret it. I've been there before. I have made silly mistakes. I've pulled a pad or accidentally lost a component or something like that, and in hindsight it's like, well, I should have just taken my damn time on that. What the heck was I rushing for? So, but that's just advice from some idiot who's been doing this for too long. Alright, so let's clean this up a little bit. Some more isopropyl alcohol on a cotton swab. So you'll see there's still some areas here that are a bit blah. Yeah, but then I get a weird feel like I can't hold it directly. And usually it's not too bad. I've done that before. It's just something that it's more awkward. So I just get it in out. I'm not actually getting burned. It's just, it's getting a little toasty. So I'm just using the side of this scalpel here, because sometimes the solder comes off of here, but there's some like old crud from capacitors and junk like that that doesn't easily come off. Now, we don't need these pads to be 1000% clean. As long as the part that's touching the trace has a good connection and it's generally clean, we're usually okay. But I do like to clean them up as best I can to avoid future issues in the future. Future issues in the future. That is because that corrosion, if not cleaned off properly, can still keep on corroding on. Which is not fun. I didn't do that one. How about that? Rule number 85. Always check your work. How many times did I recap something and be like, oh, it doesn't work. What the heck could be the problem for it? And go on a wild goose chase only to discover it's like one minor thing I forgot to do. Happens to the best of us. Now, if you have copper that is exposed, there are two ways you could deal with it. You do not want to leave the copper exposed like this, because eventually it will corrode, and it could mess with the connection that you're trying to make there. So you could either tin it, which is the process of putting a dab of flux on there and putting some solder on there, and, you know, just painting it with the silver solder. Or you can do that and or just put some... The word is escaping me now. Solder mask. That's basically what this green stuff is. Comes in a tube, and you could cure it with the sunlight or with a little laser. And that'll make sure it doesn't get all yucky and corroded in the future. Some of my own repairs, I don't even bother with that because I know I'm going to have to come back to it soon. And it's in my personal collection, and I could deal with it if that happens. But really, if you are repairing these for someone else, or if you're doing this as a long-term thing, you don't want to have to come back to it. Just do it. Don't procrastinate. Future issues in the future. We'll let future Steve worry about that. Past Steve is a real jerk. He makes future Steve worry about all this stuff that he was too lazy to worry about. Yes, Adam. In fact, you should make a YouTube video about that. And even though you'd be doing terrible things, you'd probably get more views than I do in an entire year. Because that's just the way YouTube works. Go work my ass off on an excellently written video, and then there's just some idiot throwing a hammer at a car and it gets like 1 billion views. Because, you know, well thought out content with like beginning, middle, and end, and preparedness and good knowledge and stuff like that cannot compare to a fuzzy cat or some mishap with some poor person's property. And that's just the way society is. And the sooner you accept that, and the sooner you go back to making your little videos and just doing what you please, the sooner you realize that you will never make $1 billion on YouTube. Unless you started like 15 years ago. Wow, Steve is upset today. You know what upsets me? Stupid companies removing stuff from streaming services. How stupid is that? Let's take HBO Go, for example. They had some merger with Warner Brothers and Discovery and all this stupid crap. So technically Warner owns HBO or HBO Max or whatever the heck. And a few years ago, HBO Max had this whole thing where they put a bunch of new stuff on their thing, and it was like, hey, we got a whole hub for Studio Ghibli films and Looney Tunes and stuff that was not available on DVD or Blu-ray, and it's better quality and better stuff and all this stuff. And now it's like, oh, well, it's going to cost us more to license this from our parent company who owns us. So we're just going to remove like 200 Looney Tunes cartoons that were never ever released on DVD or in high definition Blu-ray format or whatever like that. We're just going to remove these off the face of the earth because it's like too costly for us to rent it from ourselves. How freaking stupid is that? You're trying to retain a subscriber base by having a good amount of content. And what do? You remove hundreds and hundreds of things. I mean, I am quite partial to the old Looney Tunes because I grew up watching them, and I'm a bit of an animation nut, and I have a bunch of DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff like that. And with the Looney Tunes cartoons specifically, there is a whole scene of people tracking like what version is the actual, you know, restored version, which is what was released on DVD versus what was broadcast versus the edited version or non-edited version and all this stuff. There's a whole thing to it. And so while it probably wasn't perfect, like having access to all of those in a streaming platform was pretty neat because it's like, oh, well, you know, they're all here right now. I don't have to sift through my laser discs or my DVDs or whatever. Because some of them, believe it or not, even after the very recent Blu-ray sets, and before then they were the DVD sets, a lot of those cartoons were only on Laserdisc. Yeah. So, you know, to have a place like Warner Brothers and with their vast library, just say, this is probably costing us an extra $5 a month or whatever internally. Let's just, remove all this content and piss off a bunch of people. Because, when we piss off our subscribers, I'm sure they'll keep on us. And, a bunch of people are going to be like, we could just pirate it. Well, that's what everyone was doing before this stuff was available. But the problem was that the quality of some of the stuff that was on HBO Go surpassed any of the DVD or VHS or Laserdisc rips that people had. Because some of this stuff was restored and was just waiting for like an eventual DVD or Blu-ray release. And then for whatever reason, they were like, no, we're not going to do that. So, anyway, that's my rant about that. Sorry, just catching up here. Don't watch shows on streaming servers unless they're new. Anything over a Euro's gold on my Flex server. Good deal. I love Laserdisc. I have a huge, stupid collection of them. Ooh, a cabinet of Laserdisc for $50. That's cool. 34 pounds. Bruce, really? Oh, that's exciting. I have the special Laserdisc of that, and the quality is, standard definition is just okay. But I think I saw that streaming on high def, because it's like I had the Laserdisc, and my wife is not going to sit through and watch a standard definition movie with me, because I'm the only idiot who's able to put up with it. That'd be neat. Yeah, that's one that's needed a Blu-ray for ages. I hope they come out with one release that has... They probably will, knowing James Cameron. They'll have both versions of it. So I think we watched this... I think we watched the regular cut, and then we watched some of the bonus things that had the extended things. It's been a year or so, so I can't remember. Anyway, what are we doing? Rants! Thank you, Sutek. Yep. Oh, that's awesome, Bruce. In March. Good. We don't have much time to wait. See, I totally am a fan of buying movies and TV shows. I have no problem buying them. Problem is, a lot of stuff I want to buy, it's like they don't want to release it in, and put any effort into it. For example, the Christmas movie Scrooged with Bill Murray, one of my faves, one of my favorite holiday movies. Apparently there was supposed to be like some super duper fancy DVD release with a bunch of outtakes and documentaries and all that cool stuff that I have a big smiling face for. Sure, that's a saying. And like apparently like Bill Murray or some lawyers were like, no, we didn't approve this content or blah blah blah. So it's just going to sit in a vault and rot away, and nobody will ever see the light of day of it, which is kind of very stupid. But it's just like how copyright law works, I guess, in our crazy world. Because you have like these cool things that are awesome. I don't know why I'm tinning that one. That doesn't need it. You have these cool things that are like behind the scenes things of people that have passed away or projects that never got off the ground. Which, for educational purposes and film buffs and all that stuff would be awesome to see. And sometimes it's just not available. But, for better or worse, there are individuals out there with private collections of this stuff. And if you know who to talk to and know where to look, you could find some of these hard to find things that you would never find in a, let's say, legal fashion. Which is stupid. I mean, like, you'd think places like Disney Plus or whatever would be just shoving as much content as they can on there to retain subscribers and offer exclusive cuts of things and stuff like that. At least that's how my mind would work. How do we keep these film buffs on here? Well, let's offer them stuff they can't get on DVD. Or that has not been available in circulation for God knows how many years. But that's just me talking nonsense, I know. It just makes way too much sense. Flux sucks. There we go. Everything is broken. Some free beige stuff. Oh, God. Maybe. Eep! Thank you very much for the super chat. Oh, True Lies. Yeah, that's another one that's not on Blu-ray. Yes, Justin. Welcome to Corporate America. Yeah, there's a great documentary called The Sweat Box, and it's basically it was supposed to be on one of the Disney Blu-rays or DVDs or whatever, and it never made it out. But it's like the behind the scenes, like what's going on when they were making what's that movie, Emperor's New Groove, and like Sting was involved, and like the plot changed and all this stuff happened, and it was kind of like a crapshoot. But the documentary is a very fascinating insight into like what actually goes on behind the scenes in a feature like that, not just like the rose tinted documentary that you see on a DVD, that Disney would release or something like that. So I found that somewhere and downloaded it and kept that in the archive. Okay, hold on. I had to scroll up because I missed the chat, because on this screen here I only see like 10 people chatting. I have to scroll up because I have it zoomed in. Yes, I have some of those Star Wars remasters that are excellent. Okay, let's see. Trying to get my intelligent battery open. Nope, that wasn't it. I've got Star Wars 4, 5, and 6 on VHS. Heck yeah. And the DVD cuts are... Don't get me started about Star Wars. Just go on for like 5 hours. Could you repeat yourself? Everything is broken. I don't know what if YouTube is just hiding. Oh, I only shown the top chat. That's probably why. Hold on. Oh, was that the? I don't know. Refresh my memory. My memory is garbage today, and every day. No. So, all right. So you got me started on Star Wars. We're going to get started on Star Wars. So, there was a great website called like the unknown history, or what was it? The untold story of Star Wars, or whatever it was. And essentially there are a few versions of like the original cuts, but everything is altered so much from the original film, even to the first VHS releases. Different sound cuts and different cues of music and different color grades and all this stuff. Oh yes, I saw that everything is broken. Unfortunately, nothing I'm directly in need of, so I don't want to hog anything. But that's a very kind offer. I will take another look. And so eventually, essentially what happened is by the time Star Wars came on video, I think it was 80. Well, I'm talking about VHS, not the beta versions, although there's some similarities. But like the early CBS Fox prints of it were in full screen, so that they weren't in widescreen, and you had slightly different audio masters that were used. There was a 2.0 stereo sound, not surround or anything like that. So a lot of the fan versions, you'll have a lot of different variations than what was originally released, which is great because the original soundtracks and stuff like that is preserved, so you can sort of mix and match pick your poison. The biggest issue I have with the Laserdiscs is they're non-anamorphic, which, I mean, they weren't squeezed as, like, very, very uncommon for Laserdiscs to be squeezed like that. But what I mean is you have the black bars encoded into the resolution lines of the image, so when you're playing back the Star Wars trilogy on Laserdisc, you're losing a bunch of resolution just to black squares, just to the box. And there are different Laserdisc releases, like Adam is mentioning, that accidentally cut off the top and the bottom. Between scenes and stuff like that, there's like a few seconds off or whatever on one side versus the other. The CAV release, which is the big box release, is notorious for The Empire Strikes Back having a few seconds cut off. But anyway, with DVDs, around the mid-2000s or even earlier than that, the term anamorphic was probably in your eardrums at that time. And what that meant is it basically had the image of the widescreen film, and by default it was stretched, but the DVD sent signals to the TV to stretch it horizontally. So you had this vertically stretched image, but the DVD player was able to stretch it, and what that gave you is more picture information here where the black bars would have been, and the DVD player removed those, made the the thing appear in its proper aspect ratio. However, because George Lucas is such a jerk, in order to prove that the original trilogy cut was in such bad shape and to promote his new special edition and all that stuff, when they actually released the bonus discs of the original trilogy in 2006, which you had to buy the special edition to get, all he did was use the Laserdisc masters. And so even though anamorphic DVDs were very, very, very common in 2006, they did the cheapest, laziest transfer possible. And to reiterate of how poor the quality was, he transferred them with the black bars intact in a non-anamorphic transfer. So the resolution, although slightly better than the original Laserdisc release in some aspects, the resolution still was not using anamorphic space there. So you had those black bars just eating up the resolution on your TV, which was dumb. Yeah. So yeah, the DVD player and the TV would do all the work to put the squares around things and the garbage mats around the ships, and there's so many stupid details. You can watch hours and hours of YouTube videos on this subject. But the biggest thing that is problematic is every time the Star Wars trilogy is released, whether it be DVD or Blu-ray or digital, something is changed. And someone at Lowry Digital or Lowry Digital, however you pronounce it, once said that like every time George Lucas sees it, he wants something changed. And I remember like screaming internally, "Then stop showing it to him." Well, yeah, a lot of the Library of Congress requested, I think, all of the original 3 films, and they were sent the special editions, and they're like, no, these are not the ones we want. But they did affect the original negative when they went back to do the original special edition back in 97, or whenever it was. They repurposed that negative. So they opened up that negative, they took out the composites and all this stuff. So the original negative is altered. And you can't unalter that, unfortunately. However, there are fan projects with very good cameras who are actually photographing 35mm and 70mm prints of the trilogy and have been re-releasing them and sharing them around online and stuff like that. And mostly Disney does not seem to be going after them, just like 20th Century Fox was not really going after them. But what really sucks is apparently when J.J. Abrams was doing the newer films, he asked like Kathleen Kennedy or one of the higher ups if there was ever going to be like a unaltered version or whatever, and he was basically told no, which is really stupid. I mean, look, you could do whatever you want with your film. It's your film. But at least like have an original version that's like unmolested with disgusting looking CGI that is just like so out of place today. Anyway, that's a rant that I was not expecting to do today. But you could tell it's very near and dear to my heart. So anyway, I have too many copies of Star Wars on Laserdisc, VHS, VCD, DVD, and Blu-ray. And I all have my different reasons for having those. Oh, goodness. I mean, one day, maybe when everyone's dead, they'll release the original version, but those film artifacts are not getting any younger. So there you go. There you go. Alrighty. What am I doing? Putting caps on things. Excellent. Let's do that. I do have the CED ones. Not all of them, because they are surprisingly a little bit pricey. Especially because I think I have some of the mono ones. The stereo ones are in a blue case. I think I have Empire and Return of the Jedi, but I don't think I have A New Hope. Maybe I do. I can't remember. I don't use my CED player at all. It's a terrible coaxial RF out model only. So it's not something I'm like really happy to use or set up. It has no advantages of picture quality or anything of anything else. And I got it ages ago for like $20 in a stack of discs. Like I was like, you need to take the discs if you're getting the player. I don't want any of it. And I'm like, okay. And it's been like sitting in my parents' house for like God knows how long. I think they actually shoehorned it off on me, and I think it's buried in my garage somewhere. That's one of those things where you'll see like Star Wars Laserdisc on like a social media marketplace or eBay, and it's like, ooh, what version of? Oh, it's a stupid CED. Oh gosh, yeah, I have the original VHS releases. I have some on Betamax. I have some on VHS. I have the first widescreen versions on VHS. I have the others. That's the other thing about the 1995 releases. The ones with they call the Faces release, they did a lot of digital cleanup on there, and there's a lot of smear frames that are just like not part of the original picture, but it's part of the digitization process. It's all interlaced garbage video artifacts. And so, like, you know, in the Stormtrooper scene where they're in the desert and they're looking for the droids, one of the Stormtrooper makes like a very quick movement up, and if you pause it, you see like there's like 3 of his heads smeared. It's so weird. I emailed you about 2 Airport Extreme base stations. Do you want them? I will take a look at the email. Maybe not, because I do already have like 2 of them. But we'll see. I'm a glutton for punishment and running out of space. Oh, Laserdiscs are great. Yeah, putting them in a projector in the yard and have all the kids see. That's awesome. I do not have any Dragon's Lair or Space Ace Laserdiscs. The only game Laserdisc I have is Space Berserker. And I accidentally found that in a record store for $1. And I do have a laser active unit, but it's not happy at the moment. So let's slap some caps on this board. The place I like to go to tell me what capacitors go where is recapamac.com.au. And if I click on a few buttons here, you will see the website I am referring to, which is Bruce's website. Bruce at Brankets Creations, who is in the chat here, has a lovely website. A lovely website here with every single Macintosh logic board that you're probably interested in recapping. Not all of them, but most of them. And on some of them, like the LC2 here, he has a little cheat sheet of these links, and you click on that, and it brings you right to a Mauser or a DigiKey or whatever search for that specific part, and you could find those are the tantalum capacitors you need, etc. Bruce is an excellent service to the Macintosh community, and so please check out recapamac.com. He also has his YouTube channel, Brankets Creations, where he does tons of live streams and makes me look like an amateur. So thank you for all that you do, Bruce. That's how you got Space Ace. That's awesome. That's how I got my first Laserdisc. My wife was looking at a record store. She said, hey, look, they have the Raiders of the Lost Ark vinyl. And I'm like, that's no vinyl. That's a Laserdisc. So, yeah, it's all her fault I started collecting, and that is something that I remind her of constantly. She is not amused by that. But okay, so anyway. Yeah, rotted Laserdisc. Oh, boy, that's fun. Okay, so let's get out some of the capacitors here. We need a bunch of different ones. Let's start with one variety. We need 10 16 microfarad 10 volt capacitors. 10 of them. So let's put these on first. Otherwise I'll get them confused. Don't give up, Happy Mac. You'd be surprised how resilient some of these things are. Post about it on Tinker Different. Be patient. Hopefully, it could be up and running again. Alright, so this one here is a 10 microfarad 16. If I can find my tweezers, we can continue here. Oh, well, thank you, Gutbomb. Yeah, the New Year's thing is always like a fun little stream I do. Just for funsies. Nothing serious. I'm usually not present most of the time. Actually, most New Year's I've been there. I've actually been like just upstairs, but you know, enjoying the party with friends or whatever. This time we actually went to someone's house, but it was just a few of us, so I was able to peek on the stream now and then. But the internet was acting up on my laptop, so I wasn't as active as sometimes I am, but it's just like a fun way. I think the most fun of it is just to get people together in the chat. I think that's a lot of fun. People seem to enjoy that. And so last year, well, not last year, the year before that, I had so many plans, and I actually had little clips from Bruce and Dan and all sorts of awesome people on YouTube making little things like, you know, Happy New Year, you know, subscribe, blah, 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 little messages and stuff. I had zero planning to do any of that this year. But anyhow, maybe next year. Or maybe I'll just like pass the baton to somebody else, because it's fun to do it and all. But don't want to hog it. I should have brought a water bottle down here because I am ranting up a storm. Excuse me. Well, the Tinker Different Discord is one place to post, but I would certainly post it on a forum if you have not done so already. I'm not assuming you have not. But the web forum Tinker Different is great because it's searchable, and old people like me can find stuff. Whereas Discord, it's like, oh, you posted that 5 minutes ago? Yeah, it's long gone. It's just the way it is. Well, thank you. Everything is Broken Garage. I will gladly accept your soapbox and maybe try and not lose it in the basement. Okay, so we have a row of these 10 microfarad capacitors. And these are slightly larger than what I usually use. But since I have them, might as well use them. And these I have to touch up some traces here. Just a wee bit. Come on, Flux. Do your thing. Get over here. There we go. Just want to make sure I cover as much of that copper as possible. Not always going to get it perfect, but I could try. Yeah, Discord is great for chats and stuff, but conversations, especially with the amount of people in the Tinker Different Discord, just goes whoom, and then nobody will ever see it again. I've actually gotten so many messages from like people on Twitter like, hey, check out this Discord thread, and they like link to a chat room, and it's like, I don't know where I am. There's so many posts. Who wanted what from me? Huh? And I just give up. I'm not saying it's not a great place to hang out or anything like that. I just find that a web forum has so many advantages as far as organizing and searching information. Also, a Discord server could just disappear. I mean, so a website can too, but you know, I think there's more of a a different vibe to a forum where information is going to be documented and staying in one place. Where it's a Discord thing, it's like, oh yeah, that user is no longer on the server, or they were banned or whatever, so all their posts went bye-bye. And it's like, oh, that sucks. I should have more flux there. Yeah, that's just another example. I mean, you never know what could go wrong, but I will say, being one of the founding peoples from the Tinker Different forum, that a lot of the missteps made by other communities as far as preserving information and backing up and stuff have been very, very much on our radar as far as trying to make sure we do not fall into similar pitfalls. Nobody's perfect, and running a website is not all fun and games, but we try. Trina was just saying, "Get out of here, Joe." How dare you, Trina? So pushy. This flux likes to make noises. Well, there's a difference between making backups and regularly testing your backups. That's all I'm going to say about that subject. You can make backups all you want, but if you don't test them, then what the heck is the point of it? It's coming from someone who did a 12-month virtualization and an 18-month disaster recovery project at an old job, which took every speck of hair I used to have on my beautiful head. Fun times. Like to help with their power supplies issues. Well, unfortunately that's not really high on my priority list, which is why they're stacked up on the highest shelf of my garage right now. I was happy to save them from being tossed out, but they're not really on like my list of, oh, I gotta get this working. Maybe one day they'll be, and when that happens I'll let you know. But it's all about time. How much time you want to invest in this versus that. All that fun stuff. Yeah, it's depressing to think about, too. When am I going to have the time for this? Oh, I wish I had the time for that. Blah, 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 blah. But those are depressing things. You don't want to hear me rant about that. You want me to do stupid voices like this and sound of the things and so on and so forth. At least that's what I think you want. For all I know, you hate all that. No, not large heavy objects. They're just 3 laser writers stacked on top of a industrial strength garage shelf. It's fine. It's totally fine. If it breaks, I won't be there to have it fall on my head. Alright. All those seem fine. Alright, let's see. We also have... let's see. It's not this one. But the 2 right under it. Those have to be replaced. And then the one to the left of it. Excellent. Well, the more gravelly my voice gets, the more I could do his Indiana Jones impression. It belongs in a museum. Well, that's on crooked now, isn't it? That's really crummy of me. In my defense, it is hard to get these caps on because there's not a big enough margin to hold them as the smaller caps I ordered. But since I have these, might as well use them. And also the way the microscope sits sometimes just makes it a little harder to place my tweezers and the iron and all that fun stuff. I do like to make them look fairly neat. I mean, after all, this is not mine. It's going to go to somebody. They're going to hopefully use it. And yeah, it's going to live its life not being shown or anything like that. But you want to do a nice job. And that's not a good join. We have to come back to that. We're going to get a little bit of flux in there. I'll have to clean this up later. Oh, I make plenty of songs up about what I'm doing. Everyone loves when I start singing randomly, right? The crowd goes very quiet. I'm not clicking on that now, Trina. That's dangerous. You can send me a Discord link if you really want. You can send it on into me on Discord. I will look at it sometime in the future. Germany, it's 3:49 a.m. Well, go to bed. Good night. Adam is saying no. I forgot what he's saying no to, but it's funny. Oh, boy. It's like, no singing, Steve. No. I don't even know how many people are watching right now because I closed the tab when I was searching for the capacitor guide that Bruce made. So, got that going for me. $61. Yeah, that's a pretty good average, huh? Well, all 61 of you who are watching, wherever you may be, I hope you have been having a good New Year so far. Happy New Year to everybody. And I appreciate you sticking around. Hopefully you're subscribed to the channel. If not, please consider it. That just tells YouTube that, hey, this guy's doing a thing, and I kind of like that. Doesn't really put any money in my pocket, but, you know, it inflates my ego slightly. But only 36 likes. Have you been smashing that like button an even amount of times? You have to push it an odd amount of times. And this capacitor did not want to stay down. There's not a swap meet at the VCF April event, but you can do like a table or sell stuff. Like there is definitely a consignment area. So they do have that. So certainly go if you want to sell or buy things. Ow. Oh, sounds like an exploded battery or something. What are you doing, electrical outlet? I'm scared. And Bruce is still watching, so the cricket match must be quite boring at this point. Or it's over. Okay, we have 2 more of these caps. Now we have to figure out where they go. Of course, I'm holding the board upside down in relation to the diagram, which does not help. That one goes there. We have 3 there, 1 there. You come down, there are 2 there. Then there's 1 here and 1 there. Okay, perfecto. We got it. Here. Well, the one right here, that's that. Then we have poopy. I am very bad at like translating things in different directions in my head. Like it's terrible, absolutely terrible. Okay, so this one I have to do next. And then this one over there. Okay. Yes, VCF East is fairly close to me too. Dangerously close. It's very dangerous. Very dangerous. Let's not go that far. I like seals. They're cool. Wait a second. That's not right. No, it has to be this guy. I'm confused again. Oh, boy. Let's do this properly, shall we? Do that. And then the other one, that's there, that's there. And this one goes there. Alright, now we're all sorted. I am easily confused. Oh, this is going to be so fun. I don't even know if my iron could fit in that little crevice there. Well, oh, that's going to be fun. I really need to find that tube of flux. This stuff is just pales in comparison to the good Amtech quality stuff. I tell you. I mean, look, if that's all you got, that's fine, but I'm spoiled. This stuff is harder to clean off, too, unfortunately. Trying to make this look a little bit more professional. Please smash the like button or the imaginary seal gets it. Oh, we got a little toasty. That's fine. Well, to me, I don't know what I think I was using one of the newer samples. Well, the flux worked fine for me, but that's just, everyone has a different preference. Just because I worked with it well doesn't mean that it's best for you, and so on and so forth. That's why I try and provide different links to different types of stuff on my website, or whenever I'm referring to tools or things I use and so on. Because, yeah, it might be too expensive for somebody. Maybe it's not available in your area. So on and so forth. I actually recently stumbled across one of the first repairs that I did. I think it was an LC or an LC2. Something like that. Like an LC3 or LC2 or something. And my goodness, I did a pretty atrocious job on it. And this was before I had a microscope, so I was basically just trying it however I could. And yeah, that was not fun. Not fun at all. Let's make sure we install these all in the correct orientation. The little stripe goes towards positive. I'm just giving these a little bit of a nudge. Make sure they don't go anywhere. Okay, so now we need 5 47 microfarad 16 volt capacitors, which are somewhere around here. I'll find them. Oh boy, what was I doing? You guys are crazy. Oh, now I have a cut on the upper side of my lip. Oh, that's great. I hate the weather like this. cold and dry and miserable. The heck are these? Oh, I don't need those. Not now, at least. Remember the pre-specified purchase link for the microscope you have? It's on my website. It should be. If you go to mac84.net/the gear or something like that, or just search for gear and the thingamajig, you should find it, hopefully. You and me both, Adam. I will say, Amscope has like changed like every single one of their microscope names. So like some of the stuff is out of stock, but there's like an identical unit that just has a different model name now. So I can't tell you exactly what they call it now. I can only tell you what it was called when I bought the damn thing. Alright, so we have a teeny tiny little capacitor here. So 1 microfarad 50 volt. And so it's going to be easy to put on the board. Easier than the other ones. If I were to guess right now, I'd say this LC is going to fire up just fine. I'm more curious about what the power supplies will do, because they both kind of seem similar. If so, I'll crack them open and take a look. I'm not really set up to repair power supplies right now because I don't have any of the caps just hanging around. I think I have like one variety of LC. Like I have some of the caps for them, but not a lot. And they're very tedious to do because they're different manufacturers and different revisions and all that crap. So it's not like I could just say, yeah, give me 116 volt 47 microfarad capacitors and I'm set. No, it's like measuring and this and that. Hey, everyone has their preference with microscopes and magnification and stuff. Use what works best for you, man. That's the best thing you could do. But it's good to try out different things, find out what you like, what you don't like, etc., etc., etc. All right, so we have 5 47 microfarad 16 volt capacitors and 1 100 microfarad 6.3 volt capacitor. Where did I put these capacitors? I had the little bag on my desk fairly recently, which I probably put somewhere else because I thought to myself, hey, Steven, you need to be more organized this year. And then I promptly lost it. 47 microfarad 6. Nope, wrong ones. I'll find them. It's just going to take me a minute. So anyone who had some time off from work or whatever, did you do anything interesting? Or a nice break or something like that? Go anywhere? Fun? Can you install a 33 makers 030 on there along with the new crystal and bypass the need for an accelerator? If the price is right, Adam, sure. Will it work? Who knows? But if you're paying me enough, that's not really my problem. Alright, where the heck are these capacitors? How can I lose these damn things? Well, I know how, but... Alright, I'm going to use this excuse as an excuse to break to go get some water, because my throat is getting bleh. So I will be right back. And, oh, do we still have the Christmas music playing? We do! Let's switch that to the other music. And hopefully that'll retain. But I will be right back. Alright, I am back. Hello, 50 Shades of Beige, and anybody else I did not say hello to. Joe is still here. And anybody else. Hello, hello, hello. Alright, so we have our 47 microfarad 16 volt capacitors. We need 5 of them, I believe. Let's just go back to Bruce's page to confirm. Yes, we need 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back by popular demand. I mean, I'm sure there's equally enough demand to be like, go away, we don't want to hear you. And then we need just one 6.3 volt 100 microfarad. And that goes where? Well, it's a big chunky one, so we could maybe get away with putting that up there. When does Steve break into song? Usually when my throat is not as blah. Or when I have a stupid idea and I just start humming something dumb. That happens quite often. But it hasn't happened yet, but there is still time. But hopefully we get these caps on and test this machine fairly quickly. And then that might be it for tonight. I don't think I have the energy to do too much more than this. It's a big old cap compared to the other ones I've been using. But the beauty of these live streams is if you come in late and you miss it, you can always rewind or go back and watch another one. If you yell at the screen, you know, I might not be that quick to react, but eventually, you know, I might say something that sounds like a response. Yep. Because there's just hours upon hours of old content I have. And if that's not enough for you, my friend Adam has a YouTube channel, Adam's Apples. He does streams and stuff once in a while. Joe from Joe's Computer Museum has a channel. Bruce of Brankus Creations has a channel. Ron of Ron's Computer Videos has a channel. All great content. So Trina has one. Everybody has their own channel. You should check them out. Justin has a channel. I'm forgetting others. Eric has a channel. That one does not want to stick. And I risk melting plastic. There we go. RetroTech even has a channel. RetroTech, you just hit, was it 300 subscribers or something like that? Congrats. Big Bad Biologist, Big Bad Bench has a channel. Try saying that 5 times fast. Adam, feel free to put a link to your YouTube channel in the chat, dealy. If you want. I mean, you don't gotta, but I would assume you might want to. My friend Dave of Dave's Vintage Apple Tech usually hosts these like crazy long streaming parties with a bunch of the people I just mentioned usually visit. It's like on Sunday, everyone goes to do their repairs and stuff. So he has a lot of live streams that include multiple people. So if you want to check that out, you can do that so as well on his channel. And they are quite long. They go up to like, I don't know, 8-9 hours, but it's a bunch of people, so you take breaks and stuff like that. There we go. There go all the channels. What about February? February, everyone's gearing up for Macintosh. I think that's how that goes. I have 3 more caps to slap onto this board, and then it's testing time. Yes, Justin, Eric, and Adam are amazing people with fantastic channels. Check them out. Each do things a little bit differently. A little bit different subjects, a little bit different machines that they play around with, different styles. Retro Techie's been doing a bunch of shorts on the YouTubes. So, a lot of great stuff to check out there. And Joe also. Yes, of course, Joe. I have to clean the heck out of this board when I'm done, I'll tell you that. I said it before, but I'm not really seeing any bad traces on here. A lot of the times with the LC, since the corrosion and the leaking of the capacitors is so bad, you will often see a lot of bad trace damage. Same on the Macintosh Classic. Just something about those machines and their age and their caps and everything. But thankfully, in this particular example, I'm not seeing a lot of them. I mean, we could very well try and boot this thing up and nothing happens. And then we have to go hunting. But let's hope that's not the case. I almost forgot to plug Dan from Canadian Computer Collector's channel. He has an excellent channel, and before I mentioned he just did a video, sort of a mini documentary about the Power Macintosh G4 Cube. Been wanting to do a similar video for ages, but it always gets pushed down the list to do something else. But check out his channel, Canadian Computer Collector. Some good content on there. Dan's a pretty funny guy too, so even if you're not like so excited about computers, just stick around. He's a silly guy. All right. I think that's all good. Fun is had by all. I don't know what we're doing, Mike. We're doing a thing with stuff. Oh, Trina's going to bed. We are fixing up this LC2, and we're just about done with the capacitors. So now I'm just going to clean the board a bit, and then we'll shove some voltage through it and see what happens. That sound like a good plan? Sounds good enough for me. Thank you, Justin, for putting the link in there. Oh, that was a bad idea. Well, whatever. And that's more bad ideas. Well, whatever. I'm full of bad ideas tonight. No worries, Mike. You're always here in spirit. Whenever I do something wrong, I just hear you say, I just hear you laugh and go, "You idiot." In the most loving way possible. Now when you're doing this with a toothbrush with isopropyl alcohol, you don't want to scrub too hard because you could easily knock components off, especially if maybe they're not soldered on 100% or you know, you're getting a bit too rough. I'm going very gentle here. May not look like it, but I am. I'm just trying to get some of the flux off. Maybe some of the gunk that was under a chip or some solder balls or something like that. Again, this will go through the ultrasonic cleaner. So the idea is not to scrub this thing spotless. But it is just to try and get most of the crud out of the way. Hey, Dave, we were just plugging your channel. How's it going? Adam, that is very, very poor decisions on your part. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just making sure that is actually staying where it's supposed to. On Mike's stream, which we were talking about earlier, I was playing around with an applesauce, and that's a floppy disk imaging thing. And had some great success backing up some images that I got from Beth and Rich Ross. Those are the fine folks that I visited in Connecticut. And Rick or Rich, goes by either name, used to develop some software for the Macintosh back in the very early days. And gave me a bunch of his old discs and stuff like that, so I am archiving them. It's slow and thankless work, but it's quite fun. Because most of the discs actually work. Alright, let's take a look at what we're doing here. Electrical outlet says, on what machine electrical outlet? I must have missed that. Alright, we're going to turn the soldering iron off, because hopefully we're not going to need any of it right now. And we should test this logic board, huh? Now, we already have the VRAM and the regular memory. I believe the LC2 will not display video unless we have a good PRAM battery. That's a parameter RAM battery, clock battery. What is a fat metal strip with a black rectangle running between the two battery posts? Sounds like trouble, Eric. Battery pack 500. I have no knowledge of anything with the battery packs, unfortunately. Sorry, but somebody else may. Oh, hey, Greg from Rookie Mods. Yep, thank you very much for the super chat. Just swinging by. Well, I'm going to swing by and say hello to you too. Thank you so much for stopping by. I do appreciate it, even if it's only for a minute. You took time out of your busy schedule. Wait, Javier's here? Wait a second. There he is. Hey, Javier. My goodness, I did not realize I was streaming at the same time as you until Joe told me while he was in the waiting room for this stream. So sorry about that. Did not plan that, obviously. But hopefully you were successful in doing whatever you were doing. Which sounds intentionally vague. It is not. Let's see if this battery has any juice in it. Oh, that's interesting, Joe. Did you, do you have the same model mine is? Because there's a way to tell it not to do that. And I will dig up the instructions, because I dug them up for Sean. Because that's not a thing you want to really have happen. Not fun. I will Discord you the instruction doodles. Voltar, or however they pronounce their name, on Twitter, was very kind to take time out of their day and say, yeah, these are the two settings you want to make sure are on, because otherwise that will likely happen again. I forget the voltage things off the top of my head, but I do have them screenshotted and or written down. I will be happy to share those with you. No, I do not want to measure the ohms of a battery. Give me the voltage, you silly multimeter. 2.6 volts. Those two are like dead. I don't even have them on my desk because I'm an idiot. Well, this one has like 2 point something. That's close enough. Probably not. You are very welcome to do that, Joe. Might as well remind me what we're talking about while you're at it. As I walk upstairs, I'll forget. Okay, so what we're going to do is just make sure all the capacitors are in the right spots. No matter how many times you've done something like this, you want to double check. So I'm just making sure the little line points toward positive. I'm also just nudging these caps gently just to make sure they are not flailing around or doing anything silly that they shouldn't be doing. Excellent. All right, so all those look okay. A good source of blue SCSI. Well, a bunch of people have blue SCSIs to sell. Joe sells blue SCSIs. Tom sells blue SCSIs. Eric sells blue SCSIs. SCSI sell blue SCSIs. Wait, no, that's the last one's not right. Yeah, jcm-1.com will fulfill all your blue SCSI needs. I'm sorry in advance, Joe. He loves it. He really does. So let's test this new power supply, or you could go to bluescsi.com to find a retailer in your region. So we're going to test this power supply that came with this unit. This was the second power supply this individual purchased. Make sure to plug it in correctly. And then I do have the spare case, so I'm going to steal a speaker out of this. This was actually an LC case that Jay from the House of Moth sent me. I bought it from a recycler near him ages ago. And the motherboard was hosed, but I've actually been using it for parts recently. I stole the floppy drive out of it. And for testing purposes, I'm going to steal the speaker out of it. Nothing but cats and anger. I thought you said cats and dander. Alright, so I don't have any video plugged into this thing right now, but I just have a speaker plugged in, and we're going to see if this power supply works. Make sure the power supply is off. Alright. Let's test this in 3, 2, come on, do this properly. 3, 2, 1. I just hear like a high-pitched squeal. Nothing rattling inside. But this says new on it, so this must be the newer one that they purchased. Let's turn the power strip on again. Try this one more time. Well, that one doesn't seem to want to work. Let's try the other one. Otherwise, this board could have something very wrong with it. Which would suck, because we just recapped the darn thing. Let's try this one. 3, 2, 1. Both of them do not work. Now that is strange. Egret chick looks happy. Excuse me. My goodness. Yes, I will actually check for voltages. Should probably get some other things over here for me to easily test it with. I do have my LC over here. So what I'm going to do is take a known good power supply and try it with the board. No, Joe, I'm saving all this bubble wrap for you. Because I keep opening boxes and then just leaving the boxes here. Have you tried resetting the PRAM? Hopefully this doesn't blow up my power supply. 3, 2, 1. Cool. All right, well, let's let's try a different battery. Oh, God. Every time I have a working battery, what do you do, Steven? You just throw it somewhere and you lose the damn thing. Replace the logic board. Oh, boy. Hold on, I have things here that may help. I just have to find them. Where have I heard that before? Every other damn stream I've ever done. That's what I'm saying. I need to really just take like time off of not doing any of this so I could really just like clean the heck out of my space here and like, you know, get back to normal to a degree, because it is not helping me in the least bit. Well, it does need the battery for sound, but oh, what was I gonna do? I guess I could use this monitor. Grab this video cable here. Probably won't get video though. Oh boy. Excuse me. Swap this around. Plug the video connector into it. And try this again. Hey, there we go. It just took its sweet damn time. Let's see if we get any video on the monitor behind me. I wouldn't be surprised if the low battery was screwing it up. But it did chime, so heck yeah. Yeah, we're not getting any video on that. So let's just, for experiment's sake, put that battery in there. And I don't think this battery has a full charge on it. But that chimed a lot quicker than it did before. To fix it. Oh, Joe. Yeah, not getting the video output I would like from this thing. But I also noticed none of the things are in the proper space. 1, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 4, 5. It wasn't happy when I did that. Might be a loose connection. Come on, we want to have a nice, pretty picture up on that screen. Could also be that the dip switches on this adapter are not set exactly as it wants. I have plenty of these, but they're all, each have their own picky things. I think I did, what was it? 1, 4, 7. Let's try that. Yay, we got a screen. Yay. And we got a flashing question mark. Yay. So, Now we're going to test to make sure that maybe one of the power supplies works. That the kind individual sent to me for testing. Because that's my known good one. Let's try with the new one here. 3, 2, 1. Take out the battery. Okay. Well. Hey Enzo, how's it going? Anybody else I missed? Hello, hello. How many people are watching at the moment? I have not been keeping track. Yeah, I don't think this power supply is happy. 72! My goodness, that's quite a lot. Hello, everybody. Joe, you will get there. I swears. But, so we're testing power supplies now. We know the logic board works, so that's a nice feeling. That I didn't break the darn thing. Let's test the original power supply here. Both equally dead. Trying with and without the PRAM battery, just for funsies. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to check the solder pads of the power supply connector. Because you never know. You never know. And look at that, we got some green goo on them, so that can't be helping anything. Now can they? No, that can't be good. So we're going to clean that off. This has a bit of corrosion there. I'm going to fix that too. Now I'm going to reflow all the blah, 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 blah. However many the number of these pins. Just going to reflow all of them. Just to put it on the safe side here. Well, thank you, Big Bad Biologist. I didn't know you were here. Take care. Need to pay more attention. Go! Joe, you're scaring me. You're scaring me, Joe. Yes, I recently did pass the 13,000 subscriber mark. Yay! That's weird. I mean, sometimes it takes forever to gain like 100 subscribers, and then sometimes it's like, oh, here. A bunch of people are just being sent your way. I'm not complaining. That's very nice. But it's, you know, it just happens. I don't know how or what. The algorithm works in mysterious ways. All right. Clean that up. Let's just make sure there are no caps just broken off from the bottom here or something silly like that. Everything appears to be okay. Well, thank you very much, Dave. I greatly appreciate it. I will not lie and said it has not been a lot of hard work, but you know, busting my hump to put out videos in a fairly regular fashion sometimes pays off. Apparently the month of January, as I've noticed in my stats, is always just a crud month for YouTube viewership and monetization and all that stuff. So I think it's a perfect time just to like take a little bit of a break and just like clean up stuff and such. And try and get all my backlog repairs done, because I'm very ashamed of how long it's taken me to get some of these things fixed. But I lose parts and bags and thingamajigs I have to send back to people. Not boards, thankfully, but just like accessories and capacitors and junk. That's no fun. Alright, let's just put blobs of solder on this and see what happens, huh? Probably be helpful if I adjusted this so I could see a bit better. And this should have been one of the first things I checked when there was a power supply issue with 2 power supplies. Some of these are going to be harder to flow than others because of ground planes and all sorts of fun stuff. Excuse me. This is a Macintosh 2 CI. Jeez. LC2. My goodness. It's bedtime for me, probably, because I can't remember models of computers anymore. That's probably a bad sign. A lot of crud around some of this, huh? There goes the neighborhood. When Steve misremembers computer facts, you know he's tired. There's a little bit of rust and corrosion on some of these. Oh, that's excellent. That may explain some of the fun stuff that's been going on here. That pin is ugly and hideous, but we'll clean that up. Some of these are harder than others because of the lovely ground planes and such on this part of the board. Come on. And some of that's just disgusting crud. Ugh. Clean that up. At least we know the logic board works. So, as long as one of the power supply works, that'll be great. If we could fix both of them, sure. I might not have all the parts to do that, especially not tonight. Let's check the continuity here. Just make sure we're not driving ourselves crazy. I just spilled a bunch of isopropyl alcohol on the desk. Yay! Good night, Chris. Yeah, I'm not going to be sticking around here for too much longer. It's getting pretty darn late. I have work tomorrow. My days of spending all my time up late at 2 and 3 a.m. talking to Ron and Joe have disappeared in a flash. Yeah, some of these blobs of solder are way too tall. But I just want to make sure that it's nothing like socket related. Like if it's a power supply issue, that's fine. We could look into that. I just wanted to rule out anything funny going on with something simple like that. So let's get this monitor connected again. Let's get this known good power supply connected again, just as our test. It would help if the power supply is plugged into power. And that usually is a good thing to do. Okay, without a battery, we got a screen, and it's happy. So let's turn that off. Let's unplug that. Switch for the original power supply. Plug that in. Try that. Absolutely nothing. Let's try the power supply they purchased secondhand. Absolutely nothing. Well, it helps if I push the power switch on. Yeah, absolutely nothing on that one. Let's just try that original one again to make sure I didn't have the switch off or something. Yep, that's not doing anything either. Well, I'm going to open them up just to see what's going on inside. But the good news is that the logic board is happy. The logic board works. So, yay! We fixed the logic board. Both of the power supplies are very questionable. I'm going to take apart the old one first. We're not going to do anything like crazy, like trying to fix them or anything. Not right at this moment in time because I don't have the caps for them. This is a TDK brand, and this one is also a TDK brand. This model is... just trying to peel this off so I can read it. Model 6990153. Same one of this one. So at least they're the same exact model power supply. Well, the power supply is unplugged. I'm not stupid enough to plug it in with the case off. I'm not stupid enough to touch the capacitors with my bare fingers either. But I guarantee you, there's probably going to be some delicious leakage inside of these power supplies. Make sure I didn't miss any screws. Don't think I did. And time to wiggle these apart. Well, I see capacitor. Well, I see flux right there. Not necessarily capacitor leakage yet, but I can smell it. And now I can see it. Yeah, so without even taking this thing apart, I can see that this needs to be recapped. Why is this stuck in there? Oh. There we go. Yeah, that's just like a whole sea of electrolytic goo in there. Some of those joints don't look the best either. The fuse is intact. Let me see if someone has a guide on this one. I might even have one on here. Let's go here. I'm just curious here. Green goo. Joe loves his green goo. Can't get enough of it. Alright, so the guide that Bruce has here looks to be for this particular model. Actually, yes, it does seem to be that. So that's good. I'm just curious. I think mine is a different one. Yeah, the one I have on my website is an Aztec, which is slightly different. And the power supply Bruce has is different. So, yeah, I need a bunch of caps that I don't have the values for. But this individual will not have any capacitors at all. Any working power supply at all. Words, hard. So I will take a look and see what I could do. They might have to wait longer for this one because I really do not enjoy doing these. Just because, you know, I have to order a bunch of stuff I don't have and I'll procrastinate and forget to order. But that's a problem for a future me. If I can wiggle this back in there. There we go. Put this back together before we take the other one apart, or I have a very real risk of mixing up the screws or just losing them, etc. And we don't want to do that. But if they did buy this power supply off eBay, they should get a refund because it's not working at all. And neither does this metal case want to go back in 1000%, but it's fine because we have to take it apart later anyway. Someone from Tinker Different is watching this on one of their PowerPC machines. Those crazy people. Which of those crazy clowns is doing that? They deserve a firm handshake and a wild eep. I have an idea of who it might be. But I may be underselling some other fellow crazy people. It's not always the usual suspects. Oh, I liked Foster's Homes for Imaginary Friends. That was a fun show. And this is not fitting in correctly because of the way that board is. Well, I'm just going to tape these to there, and we'll fiddle with this later because it doesn't have to be 1000% for me to order those caps. That's me, Sam. What machine are you watching it from, buddy? That's cool. Major props to you. All the headaches to get that done. You know the voice talents on that show. Oh, that's very cool. Tell them they did an amazing job. Cartoon Network was streaming a bunch of holiday specials, and that was one of the Christmas shows episodes that they showed. All right, so this is the original one. Putting that back over here. Let's open up this one. Let's see if this one is better or worse. And after this, we'll probably wrap up the stream. And on my Patreon, I already have a video about the Macintosh LC that I've been playing around with behind me. And I'll be releasing a video on YouTube for the public in a day or so, depending on how much time I get. Yeah, I definitely see some leakage here, but it's strange. It doesn't look too bad, but I'm sure as soon as I start ripping off these caps, it's going to stink like crazy. Where's my telephone so I can take a picture of this? Come on, phone. Where are you? Well, it's nowhere around here. Oh, it's right behind me. Why isn't the watch working? Whatever. Let's just confirm these capacitor values while we have everything up here, huh? Just make no assumptions. 180, 385. That's correct. 6.2. 50. This is 8.2. Is that what this is? I can't read Bruce's little thing here. I should click on it. 8.2. Yes, that's correct. So that should be 270. I'm going to assume it's all the same, but I just want to make sure. Yeah, 1010, 1010, 1010, 4725, 5625. Yeah, these all look exactly the same as the one Bruce has there. That's 270.25. Yeah, so I should order a bunch of these. I mean, I did at one point, but I don't think I have them all in stock. Nor do I have the willpower to start going through this at this point in time in the night. But, yeah, that'll be fun. I say sarcastically. There's a reason why I tell people I don't do these, because they're not particularly the funnest project to do to me. I mean, I could do it. It's just, you know, one of those things. That's why. Come on. Lift up over there. There we go. Oh, boy. Well, we were looking at the power supply. I do not have all the capacitors in stock to recap it at this point in time. So we're not able to do that at this point. But both of them appear to be dead. Absolutely dead. So I'm going to tell the individual who bought this extra power supply, hey, you need your money back. Because it don't work. And sure, the seller might not have known that You know, it may have worked last time I used it, you know, or something like that, but yeah. Fun times. Well, at least we could save the logic board. At least today. We'll come back to the power supplies. I'm sure they will haunt me. But at least I have some good news for the individual about their logic board. It is not lost. It's only an LC2, but still. Subcontracted to Joe. I do have to place an order. I have to order that chip for Adam that I mysteriously lost off of the the 2CI. But I should have spares of those anyway. So those are like 50 cents. But I just have to do a Mauser order. I haven't done one this year. So, oh boy. Alrighty. Make a video guide. How to use the inside of a LED power supply for old Macs. It would be a great video. I don't know if you can, because a lot of the old Macs need like -5 volts and all this stuff. And a lot of those things like they'll do the positive but not the minus. I don't know. Anyway, I actually have a little doodad that's coming my way. That is to finish off that Mac Effects case that I got. Ages ago I did a video about that, and I've been trying to get the parts for the power supply and do all the stuff I want to do in it, and it was just so darn expensive. Thankfully, I found the power supply for like 25 bucks on Amazon. Thank you very much, Drake, for pointing that out. And I was able to essentially just order that, but it doesn't have the negative voltage I need, so I bought a little adapter from AliExpress, and that's just like going to take a month or a half to come. But yeah, same here, Justin. I just don't have the caps ready. Oh yeah, and Adam, I know it's no rush. It's just that, you know, if I'm going to place an order, might as well order everything, because they charge you like 10 bucks for shipping. So, but yeah. All right, so we've been going just for about 3 hours now. Anybody have any? I've lost my ability to speak. Does anybody have any burning questions? You're welcome to ask them before we sign off here. Like I said, I do have a video about an LC Mac that is going to be on YouTube soon. It's already on Patreon. There's a rough cut of it there. I'll be exporting the final version in a day or so. But yeah, so to summarize what we did here today, we took a very nasty Macintosh LC2 board that had corrosion and disgusting stuff all over it. It was so bad and so leaky that I started cleaning up on January 1st. And I decided to continue doing that today because although it recently came in and sort of skipped the line, I just wanted to get all that goo off of there because I didn't want it to eat away further. So the optimal amount of projects to keep on the front burners, 0, because I can't do that anymore. Can you motivate me to fix my classic my 2GS? Do it. At least get the battery out of your machines. The Apple 2GS has a battery hidden under the power supply. Sloppy Malibu, get it out of there. I actually made a video just on that. You just had to remove the power supply and clip or remove the battery out of there. You don't want to run into any issues. Justin, yes, probably. Call a medic. Anyone know a cheap place to get a power supply for a mirror drive door Mac? If you find that out, you win the internet. Did you complete Form 27B-6? The iMac with the LCD, so that's an iMac G4. You can install plenty of games on there. MacintoshGarden.org is the place to go to download old games for the Mac. That's a G4 iMac. That is not a slouch. Pretty cool machine. You should totally do that. I did check that out, Justin. I think they even sent me an email, but then they linked to like the MLA forums, and it was no longer there, and they weren't doing PCBs anymore. But that might have been a different project. Maybe I'm misremembering. But yeah, definitely that's a great thing to do because these machines, you could actually get a modern power supply for them rather than rebuilding it. So I will actually ask the person if they just want to get one of those or they want to pay me the caps plus labor to fix these power supplies. But yep, looking for a cheap source for a floppy drive for a 7200. Any guidance there? Tinker Different. That's probably where we're going to get the most signal there. Or Adam or someone here might have a spare one, but excuse me. How do you invoke the iguana flag? Oh, I used to know this stuff. It's in one of the Mac Dummies books or anything like that. Yeah, I'll have to do that, Justin. But yeah, a lot of these projects are great. Unfortunately, when like resources dry up of like where people used to post that stuff, it kind of sucks. It's hard to retract those and reach out to those people. Oh yeah, gotta save the LCs. Oh please, you know me, I don't throw anything out. Oh goodness, 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 goodness. One bit free for dreams. No. Oh boy. Yeah, Sam, what were you using? Unless you're making a post on Tinker Different to tell all of us, what the heck were you using to watch the stream and interact? That'd be cool to know. Boop 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 boop. Well, I guess we'll start wrapping it up here. We've been going for 3 hours, but hopefully, Bruce, this was enough to pry you away from your cricket match a little bit. Why don't you try and get the mic sorted now? Are you crazy? No, we'll do that on StreamYard so Jay could yell at me about how low my mic volume is. I have the little booklet. It's just by my desk. I know I have to hold down the buttons to change the thing, and I'm too tired to do that now. But, yeah. Leopard WebKit is the browser Sam was using. Cool. That's awesome. Well, I hope the video is coming in clear for you, Sam. Yeah, the PowerPC Challenge is a thing that's happening. There's a thread about it on tinkerdifferent.com to learn more about it. Can't find out now, but there was a video of an LC3 booting with the LED PSU on YouTube. Yeah, a lot of people have modded their LCs. Thanks, neat stream for studying. Well, I'm glad. There's plenty of previous streams if you really get bored. There's just no interaction, but you could pretend I'm there live. All right, I'm fading. The people in the chat are leaving. There's about 60 of you now. There's like 58. But I'd like to thank every single one of you for tuning in. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. It doesn't cost you a thing. You could also like the video too. There's a lot of people subscribing, but not a lot of people liking compared to the subscribe and the view. And I don't know. Go do the thing if you want. I don't care if you do. But it'd be nice if you did. Yeah, thank you everybody for the super chats. Thanks for stopping by and viewing. Don't forget to check out tinkerdifferent.com, Tinker different.com. There's a link in the video description. There's also a link there for my social media thingamajigs, including Mastodon, and yeah, you can catch me on another stream. Probably gonna be laying low just for a little bit because I have a lot of stuff to organize around here and finish up on repairs, so I might not do like regular videos as often. I'll probably just stick to some streams once a week or something like that, but more airtime for other people. But take care. I have a video coming out soon. Check the Patreon if you have not done so already, and I'll catch you later. See you later. Bye. Happy New Year.